Thank you very much. Her Excellency, Ibu Dr. Honoris Causa Puan Maharani, Speaker of the Indonesian House of Representatives, Excellencies, Speakers and Vice Speakers, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and may peace and blessings be upon you all. Welcome to the first session of the Indonesia-Africa Parliamentary Forum. I am Dyah Roro Esti. I'm a member of the Interparliamentary Cooperation of the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia. I'm also a member of Commission 7 of the Indonesian Parliament, which oversees the energy, industry, research, and innovation sectors. It is my honor to moderate this session this morning. The South-South Cooperation, or SSC, and Triangular Cooperation have emerged as powerful engines of economic growth and sustainable development across the Global South. These partnerships have expanded rapidly over the past decades, with South-South trade now accounting for approximately 28% of global trade, valued at over $4.5 trillion in 2020. Indonesia, alongside our African partners, has been at the forefront of SSC since the 1955 Asia-Africa Conference in Bandung. It was a pivotal moment in the post-colonial world, laying the foundation for solidarity and collaboration as newly independent nations from Asia and Africa came together to solidify commitments of mutual supports in economic development, social progress, as well as political stability. And today, there has been incredible progress as over 120 countries participate in SSC, advancing global efforts in a variety of different issues, including healthcare, agriculture, education, and digital transformation. The SSC continues to serve as a critical strategy not only in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030, but also in addressing shared challenges and unlocking economic potentials. Africa, with its rapidly growing population expected to reach 796 million in the labor force by 2050, represents an enormous opportunity for inclusive economic development. The African Economic Outlook projects that 17 African economies will grow by over 5% in the year 2024, far surpassing the global average, showcasing the continent's rising economic influence. These impressive growth rates, however, can only be fully realized through strategic cooperation. SSC and triangular cooperation play a pivotal role in the regard. Throughout the session, our panelists will offer insights and explore key issues central to harnessing the potential of SSC. The first key issue we will address today is regarding Parliament's role in leveraging SSC and triangular cooperation, including to spur digital transformation, ensure inclusive growth, and also enhance people-to-people contact. As Africa's digital economy is projected to reach around $180 billion by 2025, it is crucial for parliaments to then shape certain policies that would support this growth by investing in infrastructure, skills, as well as connectivity. And so the question we'd like to ask in this regard is, what specific actions can parliaments take to then boost SSC and triangular cooperation, and how can we ensure that these efforts are inclusive, reducing disparities, and benefiting all citizens? The second issue we'd like to address today is supporting the Africa Agenda 2063. This is a very, very important and crucial agenda, with 17 African economies projected to grow over 5% in 2025. Aligning legislative frameworks with Agenda 2063 is crucial for sustainable development. And so the big question we'd like to ask is, how can parliaments ensure that our policies and legislative measures advance this agenda, promoting a diversified and resilient economy? So let us now turn to our esteemed panelists who will share their insights on these very pressing issues. Allow me to first introduce our panelists for this session. We have Mr. Tormarbulang Lumbantobing, Executive Director of Indonesia's Agency for International Development, or Indonesian Aid. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have Ms. Rina Setyawati, Director of International Development Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia. We also have Honorable Putri, who is the member of Committee for Interparliamentary Cooperation of the Indonesian House of Representatives, my fellow colleague here as well. And we have Honorable Webster Shamu, member of the Parliament of Zimbabwe. Round of applause as well. So we will have approximately around 5 to 6 minutes from each speaker. So without further ado, allow me to invite our first panelist, Bapak Tormarbulang Lumbantobing. We look forward to hearing your perspective on how Indonesia Aid can strengthen their cooperation with African nations. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu. Good morning, honorable speakers, deputy speakers, and member of House of Parliament. And allow me to share our insight about the South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation. The world today is facing a multitude of complex and interconnected challenges that span across borders and impact all aspects of our society. As the world becomes more interconnected, addressing these challenges is more critical than ever before. Since the development challenges such as pandemic, security, and climate change are not bound by national borders, and the increase of the complexity of the challenge, collaboration across borders becomes paramount. Global challenges require collective efforts and innovative solutions to ensure sustainable and prosperous future. The development challenges are enormous, therefore, development cooperation model such as North-South cooperation, South-South cooperation, and triangular cooperation should complement each other, and of course, each model needs to be adjusted. Traditional model, North-South cooperation, may be transformed from unequal partnership towards into a true partnership, which means programs or projects are built through consultation in which South partners play more role to determine the needs. Cooperation not only creates physical output, but also strengthens local capacity in many areas. To encourage ownership, the implementation of cooperation may be applied the local system, such as procurement systems and financial management. We believe South-South cooperation is a model of cooperation among the developing countries in which expertise and final resources are shared to promote sustainable development. South-South cooperation promotes more sustainable and equitable economic growth and offers more diversified growth and opportunities. As an initiator of the international development cooperation in the form of ASEAN-African Conference and non-aligned movement, Indonesia takes a position as a strategic actor in South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation. Moreover, considering South-South and triangular cooperation as an effective tool in strengthening development cooperation, Indonesia had incorporated South-South and triangular cooperation in its midterm development plan. To materialize its commitment to strengthen South-South cooperation, Indonesia has established what's called South-South Cooperation Flagship Program, which consists of development issues such as poverty reduction, agriculture, animal husbandry, disaster and risk management, planning and budgeting. On economic issues, we have also a flagship program on microeconomic management, public financial management, microfinance, and small-medium economic enterprise promotion. Another flagship program is good governance and peace building. The modalities we have to carry out flagship program can take forms such as workshop and seminar, expert dispatch, and training. We also have a small infrastructure and equipment. Furthermore, to strengthen international development cooperation, including through South-South cooperation, Indonesian Agency for International Development, or Indonesian Aid, was established on 18 October 2019, so it will be 5 years this year. Since its establishment, most development cooperation carried out by Indonesian Aid is under South-South cooperation. This is in line with the government policy, which prioritizes cooperation with southern countries. Our priority areas of development cooperation are to improve agriculture, health, education, as well as to improve good governance. Cooperation to improve agriculture had been established with some African countries. We had cooperation with ENSA, a university in Senegal, in which laboratory equipment had been provided to ENSA to support research and innovation on agriculture. Another cooperation on agriculture is with the government of Gambia. In this cooperation, Agriculture Training Center in Genoa, established in 1996. Since last year, we have do some renovation for this facility. The renovation is aimed to ensure the center can carry out its services to provide training not only for the domestic but also for neighbor countries such as Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Senegal, and Sierra Leone. On health sector, there have been cooperation between Indonesian Aid, Islamic Development Bank, East Africa University Hospital, the government of Egypt, to improve health services in the East Africa University Hospital by providing medical equipment, establishing ICU room, and also deploying telemedicine software system, and of course, training for medical doctors. Another cooperation on health sector is with Nigeria, in which it was provided pentavalent vaccine to support vaccination program in Nigeria last year. This cooperation also has encouraged cooperation between our state-owned company, Bio Farma, to establish a cooperation with the local company in Nigeria, and we expect the cooperation will be continue. Maybe later on can be expand to the technology transfer with the local company in Nigeria. On education sector, allow me to share with all of you that we have a new program that will be started this year, what we call the Indonesian Aid Scholarship. We expect the participant of this scholarship will be coming from 13 countries, including from African countries. This program will involve 11 state university Indonesia, top-notch universities, offers bachelor, master degree, and also provides special studies on agriculture, nursing, and public sector accounting. Through this program, we believe relationship between people or people-to-people contact will be stronger. This program also will facilitate culture exchange. Having said many initiatives that have been carried out, we realize that South-South cooperation faces several challenges that in some cases are related to the institutional and technical capacities of the southern countries. Some challenges on South cooperation can be summarized as follows. One is how to improve the quality of information that would enable transparency and better quality and result. Another is to align South-South cooperation program with national system and national plan. In addition, since many South-South cooperation projects are still carried out in random and isolated ways, to achieve better result, South-South cooperation project or program should be designed with more regular and more structure. Another challenge is to strengthen the capacity of southern countries to match demand and supply of development knowledge consistently, to generate practices and knowledge on how to improve modalities, to look for innovation and coordinated effort to avoid fragmentation and overlapping. Lastly, in order to enlarge the contribution of South-South cooperation to address the global challenge, emerging donors may provide more resources not only for capacity building, but beyond capacity building. Under South-South cooperation, emerging donor can be providers for other than capacity building. For Indonesian aid perspective, the Parliament has fully extended its support to strengthen South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation in Indonesia through its approval on the provision of the endowment fund that currently managed by Indonesian Aid. To this end, allow me to extend our sincere gratitude to all members of the House of Representatives of Indonesia, and of course, we do hope endowment fund for international cooperation can be continually increased. To end my presentation, of course, while much has been achieved, more needs to be done. I stop here.
Thank you
Over
very
to you.
much. Thank you. I definitely agree. A round of applause. Thank you, Bapak Tormarbulang, for your insightful contributions, especially on the fact that there needs to be a collaboration of expertise across countries, and I think this is such an incredible opportunity for us to harness that kind of potential across countries in Asia as well as in Africa. Thank you. We will now turn to our second panelist, Ibu Rina Setyawati. We're eager to hear your insights on how development cooperation can then be aligned to advance, again, the goals of SSC, especially in supporting the Agenda 2063, as well as fostering mutual growth. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Roro. Good morning, distinguished member of parliaments, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to be here to discuss this evolving partnership between Indonesia and Africa. I think this morning, many of the previous speakers touched upon the Bandung spirit. And as we gather together today, I think I'm reminded of the enduring spirit of the solidarity and cooperations that has guided our interactions since the historic Asian African Conference in Bandung. And I believe that the spirit remains the cornerstones of our efforts to build future where our nations grows and thrive together. And today, I will begin my presentations by sharing our commitment and achievement on strengthening South-South cooperations. And then I will share our South-South and triangular cooperations and development cooperation program, and then the role of Indonesia as emerging development partners. And then I will conclude my presentations by highlighting how parliamentary members can support the development cooperations. Let me begin by highlighting Indonesia's deep-rooted commitment to the South-South cooperations. This is a commitment that dates back in 1955, Asian African Conference in Bandung, and which established the Bandung spirit of solidarity, peace, and cooperation. And fast forward today, Indonesia has maintained these strong commitments from the Bandung Conference to the more recent second high-level meeting of Buenos Aires Plan of Actions, or we call it the BAPA, This is the principles of South cooperation begin. And our journey from low income to middle income countries, and also now our current status of G20 members reflects our remarkable economic transformations. Once we were recipient of it, and now we are southern providers. Not just the southern provider, but the reliable ones. And we contribute to the accelerations of these sustainable development goals, particularly in Africa. So I just inform you the principles of global international cooperation, or we call it as BAPA. And our approach to international development cooperations has always been guided by these principles. These 9 principles emphasize mutual respect, equality, and non-conditionality, ensuring that our partnership are built on foundation of trust and shared purpose. And of course, in our work with African nations, we are committed to apply these principles to ensure that our cooperation is effective and respectful, and respectful of each country's sovereignty and development goals. So now let me touch upon Indonesia South-Southern Triangular Cooperation and also Indonesia Development Cooperations. Over the years, I think Pak Tor already also mentioned that we have implemented more than 1,000 programs under South-Southern Triangular Cooperations. And these initiatives have included training programs, workshop, dispatch expert scholarship, reaching over 13,000 participants from more than 150 countries, including 44 countries across Africa. And this sector we engage are wide-ranging and crucial to the sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to share about our role as emerging development partners emerging development partners. In our efforts to strengthen South-South cooperations, we has initiated and hosted a key meeting such as Emerging Development Partners meeting and also 7 Development Leaders meeting last June. So this gathering, this initiative brought together 23 countries and 6 international organizations to enhance cooperation among emerging donors. And these meetings are about sharing experience, learning from each other, and amplifying the voice of Global South and international stage. So let me now share about the Indonesia-African development cooperation sectors started from this year up to 2029. As we look forward, Indonesia and Africa share similar long-term visions. We do have our vision 2045, the Golden Indonesia or Indonesia Emas. And Africa, they have African Agenda 2063. Ibu Roro already mentioned. So, but this, ladies and gentlemen, both framework, our Indonesia Emas and also Africa Agenda 2063, aim for a future prosperity and sustainable development. And to make most of our cooperation, we believe that our focus should be on the 5 key sectors, but not limited to only this key sector, of course. We can also expand it in accordance with the evolving needs of the African countries. So these are aligned with both our development goals and hold the greatest potential for impact. So let me explain the most important and interesting part of this discussion, how parliamentary members can support our South-South and triangular cooperations. I think this morning, Pak Fadlizon already mentioned about parliamentary diplomacy. Yes, I totally agree. Parliamentary members are key driver for South-South and triangular cooperations. Your legislative support is essential in creating an environment where international development cooperation can thrive. This includes enacting law and policies that facilitate our works in these key sectors. And additionally, your role in budgetary oversight, ensure that resources are allocated wisely with a focus on transparency and accountability. Your diplomatic engagement is also equally important. So that's why I would like to commend and appreciate House of Representatives of Indonesia for initiating this event. I think this is very important to strengthen ties between parliamentary members, both bilaterally and multilaterally, so we can work together to enhance the South-South cooperation. And through your monitoring and evaluation effort, you ensure that our project align with the national development goals and deliver real tangible benefit for our citizens. So in closing, the Indonesian-African Development Cooperation is more than just a partnership. It is a shared journey toward a future of mutual prosperity. And by working together, grounded in the principle of South-South cooperations, we can achieve the great things for our people and our nations. And we look forward to continuing this journey with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Rina, for highlighting a couple of very important points, especially what you highlighted about the cooperation of 23 countries and its progress. You know, shared experiences is very important for us to move forward. And more importantly, I think the homework that you gave all of us to ensure that, you know, we keep governments accountable for the things that they do on a daily basis. Okay, so next we have a very special speaker. We have Honorable Webster Shamu. We anticipate your insights on how parliaments foster and can create, again, enabling environments for the SSC to happen and development cooperation generally, particularly in addressing the shared challenges. So I think hearing some about, you know, how challenges are then, you know, solved is also very important today. So Honorable Shamu, you may take the floor.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed, and I will endeavor to look at the importance of the South-South and the triangular cooperation, and also delve into the economic aspects and the advantages thereof. And I will try and answer a major point, I think, that seems to be emerging in the context of this conference with regards to how developing nations should reach those levels of development as we see throughout the world. Madam Chairperson, our meeting today underscores the shared commitment of our nations to South-South and triangular cooperation, which is rooted in our collective pursuit of sustainable development and economic prosperity. This cooperation reflects our historical solidarity and highlights the potential for a future where developing nations can thrive through mutual support and collaboration. Now, this forum provides a critical platform for us, indeed, to deliberate on the dynamics of trade between Indonesia and Africa. A relationship that grew and is continuing to grow, holding on to more significant potentials for our expansion. Now, with its vast and rapidly growing market, Africa presents a unique opportunity for enhanced trade and economic partnerships. Despite the current disparity in purchasing power compared to traditional export markets, the continent's potential is indeed boundless. With a population of 1.3 billion as of 2019, representing 16% of the world's population, Africa's strategic importance in global trade cannot be ignored. The United Nations projects that this population could swell to 2.49 billion by 2050 and to 4.28 billion by 2100. Such demographic growth underscores the continent's long-term significance as a partner for economic cooperation. Madam Chairperson, it is indeed instructive to note that Indonesia's imports from Africa have surged by 57%, rising from 6.5 billion in 2018 to an impressive 10.2 billion in 2022. Now, this substantial growth clearly indicates the deepening economic relationship between Indonesia and Africa. Despite starting from a relatively low base compared to other regions, the steady upward trajectory of trade between Africa and Indonesia signals a promising future. This burgeoning trade relationship is not just about numbers, but about the tangible benefits that accrue to both regions as we leverage our strengths for mutual prosperity. Now, turning to Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe and Indonesia's trade relationship is promising and ripe indeed for significant expansion. In 2022, Zimbabwe exported goods worth $35.3 million to Indonesia, with raw and processed tobacco and cotton being the leading exports. Over the past 5 years, the value of these exports has increased at an impressive annualized rate of 20.7%. And meanwhile, Indonesia exported 9.72 million worth of goods to Zimbabwe, including other vegetable oils, palm oil, and large construction vehicles. This mutual growth, characterized by an 18.1% annual growth rate in Indonesia's exports to Zimbabwe, underscores the untapped potential in our trade relations. So the current trade dynamics between Zimbabwe and Indonesia do present numerous opportunities for deepening and diversifying our economic ties. Indonesia's demand for diverse, high-quality food products presents a lucrative market for Zimbabwe, including horticultural products like blueberries, avocados, macadamia nuts, and essential oils such as marula and baobab. Zimbabwean blueberries are already recognized for their superior quality by some Indonesian importers, and there is significant potential to tap into the market for products that are already popular, like sweet potatoes. So by capitalizing on these opportunities, Zimbabwe can carve out a significant market share in Indonesia, further solidifying our trade relationships. Beyond agriculture, Zimbabwe's mining sector, infrastructure, projects and manufacturing industries present lucrative opportunities for Indonesian investment. Zimbabwe has some of the world's largest lithium reserves, a critical mineral for the global transition to renewable energy. Additionally, Madam Chairperson, our nation is rich in other minerals such as gold and platinum. Now, as Zimbabwe continues to improve its infrastructure through road rehabilitation, airport upgrades, and the establishment of one-stop border posts, there is ample scope for Indonesian investors to engage in these critical projects. These investments will enhance Zimbabwe's economic resilience and contribute to the overall development of the region. To further enhance trade between Zimbabwe and Indonesia, we must focus on diversifying our export base, investing in value addition, and creating a conducive environment for trade and investment. Madam Chairperson, the establishment of the Zimbabwe Investment and Development Agency, popularly known as ZIDA, as an acronym, is an important step in this direction. ZIDA's role, Madam Chairperson, is to facilitate investments, providing critical information and offering administrative support that ensures that Zimbabwe is an attractive and competitive destination for investors. Moreover, Zimbabwe can greatly benefit from Indonesia's science, technology, and innovation advancements. The application of artificial intelligence, which I think this morning was emphasized by our speaker, Advocate Jacob Francis Zwinda Mudenda, the application of artificial intelligence in agriculture, in mining, and manufacturing can significantly boost productivity and efficiency, driving economic growth and helping Zimbabwe achieve its Vision 2030 goals. Now, this collaboration aligns with our broader strategy of utilizing South-South and a triangular cooperation to diversify our economy, open new markets, and attract investment in key sectors. Honorable Chairperson, Africa's modest share of global trade, currently hovering between 2% and 3%, highlights the need for concerted efforts to improve our economic standing. Through South-South cooperation, developing countries must aim to achieve levels of development comparable to those of the developed world. And now we come to the question before us, which is how can developing nations reach these levels of development?
Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, trade is one within the global South that we must take up. By strengthening trade relationships among developing countries, we can reduce dependence on traditional markets and create a robust and self-sustaining economic network within the global South. Secondly, creating knowledge-based economies. Thirdly, application of science, technology, and innovation as development tools. Fourthly, the use of artificial intelligence, like I said earlier on, and then looking at the role of tertiary institutions in rolling out artificial intelligence to industry and commerce, and of course, the promotion of SMEs in development. Finally, Madam Chairperson, I will go to the role of Parliament in this framework of South-South and triangular cooperation, which I believe is indeed pivotal. As the legislative body, Parliament is responsible. It is responsible for approving budgets. Parliament enacts the policies and laws and oversees the implementation of development projects that facilitate economic and sustainable growth. Our support for infrastructure projects such as roads, rehabilitation, and regional connectivity demonstrates our commitment to regional cooperation and the need to enhance trade and investment opportunities. So in conclusion, Madam Chairperson, South-South cooperation can help reduce developing countries' dependency on traditional North-South aid and development frameworks by fostering more self-reliant and sustainable development paths. Overall, South-South cooperation offers a promising avenue for developing countries to leverage their shared experiences, their resources, and of course, provide the necessary expertise to achieve more equitable and sustainable development outcomes. Zimbabwe, Madam Chairperson, is ready to continue building and strengthening these partnerships, contributing our experiences, our resources, and ideas to the mutual benefit of all involved. And as His Excellency the President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa has been saying all along and continues to call upon the world to listen to that message. Zimbabwe is indeed open for business.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Shamu. Wonderful speech that you gave, and I am yet to visit your beautiful country, so hopefully in the future we'll have that opportunity. You highlighted the importance of mutual support, mutual prosperity, and the untapped potential for trade from blueberries to the mining sector, critical minerals. So there's a lot to explore. So thank you very much. And our last speaker, we have Honorable Ibu Putri Komarudin. We're eager to hear your perspective on how parliaments can play a key role in formalizing and strengthening the SSC through legislative frameworks. We would also like to hear your insights on how Indonesia and also African nations can collaborate in strategic areas with huge potential. So we have the potential of renewable energy, the potential of digital economy and sustainable trade. Honorable Putri, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Roro. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us all. Honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to address you today at the Indonesia-Africa Parliamentary Forum 2024. Indonesia has consistently demonstrated its commitment to the Bandung Conference spirit, as has been mentioned countless times today, through concrete actions. And over the past decade, Indonesia has implemented around 60 South-South and Triangular Cooperation, or SSTC, programs, engaging approximately 500 participants from the African region. These initiatives cover various sectors, including agriculture, fisheries, health, energy, micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, infrastructure, disaster, risk management, women's empowerment, trade, and also investment. And in order to strengthen economic and trade partnerships, Parliament, of course, plays a crucial role in enhancing national welfare. It must continuously develop and refine regulatory frameworks that foster local economic growth and promote international trade, particularly with southern countries. And effective legislation will streamline trade, reduce barriers, and create a stable investment environment, maximizing benefits for all parties involved. In 2019, the Indonesian Parliament supported the ratification of the Indonesia-Mozambique Preferential Trade Agreement, marking our first bilateral agreement with an African country and a significant follow-up to the 2018 Indonesia-Africa Forum. By reducing import tariffs on approximately 200 products, this partnership has yielded positive outcomes, with total trade between Indonesia and Mozambique increased significantly to USD 182 million in 2022. A significant rise from USD 92 million in 2018. And we anticipate that this year's forum will pave the way for further collaboration with other African nations. And furthermore, the Indonesian House of Representatives has enacted regulatory reforms to bolster economic growth. Law number 11 of 2020 on job creation simplifies export-import licensing, reducing costs and uncertainties. It also supports exporters with market access incentives, financing and customs incentives for export-oriented MSMEs. And these measures facilitate easier access to African markets for our businesses and also micro, small, medium enterprises. And from a budgetary perspective, as a member of House Commission 11, which oversees finances and also the state capital injection for state-owned enterprises, we have allocated selective capital injection through the state budget to support export initiatives. And in 2024, Indonesia Export-Import Bank, or known as Exim Bank, has been injected with USD 320 million to assist businesses and financial institutions in expanding into non-traditional markets, including Africa. Indonesia Export-Import Bank provides financing and also guarantees for commercially challenging projects, enhancing investor confidence in the African market. And we also approve a state capital injection of USD 4.3 million to biopharma for vaccine production. And with vaccines already exported to over 150 countries, including 50 countries in Africa, this support aims to enhance biopharma's competitiveness, expand its global market, and reduce reliance on imports. And we are currently reviewing biopharma's proposal for an additional capital injection of approximately USD 141 million next year. And this funding would be used to develop facilities that meet international standards for producing a range of vaccines. And we are also committed to support Indonesia-AID, our dedicated donor agency, represented today by Pak Tormar. And we have made a substantial investment of USD 386 million and a grant budget totaling USD 26 million for 2024. And this represents a 66% increase in our grants budget from the previous year, highlighting our dedication to advancing international development. And since its establishment in 2019, Indonesia-AID has achieved significant milestones, as explained in depth earlier by Pak Tormar. And ladies and gentlemen, in order to build stronger relationships and enhance cultural exchange between Indonesia and Africa, we are also proud to offer the Developing Countries Partnership, or KNB Scholarship. Since its launch in 2006, this initiative has provided financial assistance to international students from developing nations, enabling them to pursue higher education degrees, bachelor, master's, or doctorate, PhD programs at top universities in Indonesia. And the KNB Scholarship has supported students from diverse nations, including from the region of Asia, Pacific, South America, and also the Eastern Europe. And through this program, we aim to significantly contribute to human resource development and also foster deeper cultural understanding among developing nations. And this year, the Indonesian government plans to increase the scholarship quota to approximately 400 students, doubling from only 200 quota last year. And we encourage all delegates to consider this valuable opportunity for your constituents, and this expansion underscores our commitment to create shared prosperity and also nurture future leaders. And in order to support this initiative, the Indonesian Parliament with the government allocates 20% of the state budget to education, amounting to USD 42 billion in 2024. And this includes substantial funding for the KNB Scholarship Program. By investing in education and strengthening people-to-people connection, we aim to bolster ties between Indonesia and the recipient countries, ultimately fostering a collaborative and prosperous future. And ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia and Africa share a vision for a more inclusive and equitable future. Through the 2045 Golden Indonesia Vision and Africa's Development Agenda 2063, our goals align with human development through education, health, women, and youth empowerment. And these common objectives guide us towards productive and sustainable economic transformation. Indonesia is harnessing our digital economy potential, which is projected to reach USD 360 billion by 2030, making us the largest in ASEAN. And with 10 unicorns and 2 decacorns, we aim to position ourselves as the digital economy key driver of future growth. And we also acknowledge that African nations are making significant progress in digitalization. The World Bank reports that over 160 million Africans gained broadband internet access between 2019 and 2022. And given our shared challenges, such as digital inequality, cyber security, digital taxation, and digital literacy, we are keen to share our experiences and collaborate on these issues. That's all from me for the presentation. Thank you. Bu Roro for the time.
Thank you very much, Ibu Putri. Round of applause. She spoke an incredible amount on how Parliament plays, again, a pivotal role, starting from import tariffs. She spoke also about how to, again, boost the cooperation across African regions. And essentially, as well, how we can help strengthen the quality of human capital through education, through scholarships. And this kind of collaboration is very fundamental in boosting further collaboration. Next, with these perspectives in mind, we will now transition into a more interactive session where we encourage all our delegates to share some insights with regards to the topic in which we are discussing today on the SSC and how we can then, again, share our shared purpose forward. So on our first session of speaker, we have, I'm not sure if I can read this properly, Honorable Uchenna H. Okukwo, I'm very sorry if I can't read the handwriting properly, from Nigeria. You have the floor. If we can limit the time to 2 to 3 minutes, that would be great, so we would leave enough time for all the other speakers. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, the honorable speakers and deputies present, my fellow members of parliament. Again, for correction, my name is Honorable Uchenna Harris Okonkwo. I represent the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nigeria, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this opportunity and for this gathering and bringing members of parliaments of different countries in Africa to come here and deliberate on the way forward of having more parliamentary interventions in order for us to sustain and grow our continent and also grow our mutual beneficial relationships. I just want to add to the discussions made earlier on, which is on how we can have better cooperation and prosperity for sustainable development. Well, mutually beneficial development is a shared vision, and the pursuit of mutual beneficial development is not just a goal, but it's a necessity. Nigeria believes that working together we can unlock the full potential of our economies, enhance trade and investment, and create opportunities for our people. You know, in the areas of agriculture, energy, health, technology, there are immense potential for collaboration. You know, by sharing knowledge, resources, and expertise, we can better develop innovative solutions to the challenges that we face. Nigeria is ever ready to engage with Indonesia and our African counterparts to ensure that our partnership are strategic, impactful, and beneficial to all. You know, the role of parliaments in this goal is highly unique in fostering these partnerships. We try to be a bridge between the people and the government. Of course, as we know, the government is for the people, by the people, and the custodians of democratic values and architects of policies that shape our future lies within our hands. So it is our duty to ensure that the agreements and partnerships that we can forge at forums like this can translate to tangible benefits for our citizens. And again, I want to reaffirm Nigeria's role in that commitment to strengthening the parliamentary partnerships with Indonesia and of other African nations. We believe that by working together, we can create a more prosperous, equitable, and sustainable future for all. We in Nigeria, in the parliament, we do a lot in engaging our citizens. to make sure that they're up to date with our policies, make sure that they're up to date with our necessary laws passed and those enacted as well. And we'll continue to do that, and we continue to urge and seek the support of nations like Indonesia to as well, continue the partnership and help us, to sustain and develop our goals so we can attain the Africa Agenda 2063 in good timing. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies.
Thank you, our honorable colleague from Nigeria, and apologies for not saying your name correctly earlier. Thank you for your shared points that you made earlier. So our next speaker, we have Honorable Sukamta from Indonesia. The floor is yours. Just a quick reminder on time so we can get more speakers as well during the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Honorable Chair, esteemed panelists and delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. May peace be upon us all. It is a great honor for me. My name is Sukamta, member of the Committee for Interparliamentary Cooperation, Indonesian House of Representatives, to speak before you today. I would also like to thank you, the panelists, for providing us insight on South-South cooperation of Indonesia and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we cannot begin the discussion on South-South cooperation between Indonesia and Africa without mentioning the first Asia-Africa Conference in 1955. As a result of the conference, Bandung Spirit became the foundation for solidarity and cooperation between ASEAN and African countries. And next year, in fact, we will celebrate the Platinum Jubilee, 70 years of anniversary of the Asia-Africa Conference. The House of Representatives of Indonesia is committed to ensuring the success of the event and to bolstering stronger cooperation between the region. The geopolitical instability, conflict and war, COVID-19 pandemic and climate change have had a profound impact on several aspects of people's life, including the economy, healthcare, tourism, education, and technology. This circumstance poses a significant obstacle to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals by all countries worldwide by 2030. South-South cooperation aims to establish a mutually benefited collaboration as a gesture of solidarity with all countries in the global South. As part of Indonesian global commitment, currently Indonesia's flagship South-South cooperation program include agricultural, food security and social security, disaster management, energy, trade and industry, human development and infrastructure. Also, as panelists mentioned, Indonesia, through the Indonesian Aid Program, has provided assistance to 23 of the 54 countries in the African region, valued more than 100 billion rupiah. Parliament has a crucial role to support the implementation of the South-South cooperation through its parliamentary function. Parliament needs to ensure that South-South cooperation remains central in political and legislative agenda. Parliament should actively encourage and initiate the sharing of information and exemplary method regarding South-South and triangular cooperation policies and projects. Furthermore, we need to urge government to collaborate with national parliamentarians in order to enable these exchanges. We look forward to continuing our collaboration to strengthen Indonesia and Africa relation to a tactical level, not only a strategical level, in the framework of South-South Africa cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Sukamta, for your shared points just now. And I would like to apologize to every one of you who wanted to speak because we are running out of time. But please do use the time during our free break as well to interact with one another. So hopefully that can also, answer your questions. So thank you all for your active participation. And thank you again to our panelists for your valuable insights and points and incredible, contributions. This session, as we saw, highlighted the critical importance of South-South and triangular cooperation as a powerful driver of sustainable development. We have gained a clear understanding of the vital roles that parliaments can play in advancing this cooperation. There are a couple of ways we can do this: legislative action, strengthening partnerships, facilitating dialogue, and advocating for these initiatives within our countries. And I think we all can leave this room today in understanding that we each have a role to play, and that, to make sure that we do take this homework back to our respective countries and ensure that the discussions continue on outside of this hall, outside of Indonesia as a whole as well, and to make sure, again, that we keep our governments accountable, understanding that we have shared purposes, shared values, and regardless of the different responsibilities that we have, but again, that collaboration, cooperation with the very spirit of gotong royong, which means collectively working together side by side in achieving a particular target, is very crucial and very important. So thank you all for attending today's session. I'm Dyah Esti. Thank you for, again, your contributions, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a big round of applause for our first session. Thank you to our moderator and all panelists. Now we would like to capture the moment by having photo together. To all of you, please stand up. And please give your best smile to the camera in your front. Ready? Let's take photo in 1, 2, and 3. One more time. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause one more time to our moderator and all panelists. Thank you for sharing with us in this very special occasion. You may return to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we have wrapped up our first session of panel discussion. Now it's time for you to have lunch. Lunch is served at Grand Ballroom 3, and we would like you to please be back in this ballroom at 1:45 p.m. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to inform you that lunch is served at Grand Ballroom 3. And also, we would like you to please be back in this ballroom at 1:45 p.m. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to kindly inform you to the speakers that have been requested by all of you. We will be given it later on the second session. Thank you.